Noreen Rogers was found dead by her son on November 3, 2012. The day before, the 71-year-old had developed a sudden onset of stomach pain and was taken to the Launceston General Hospital by ambulance. She was seen by a doctor and had a CT scan. In the early evening, most of Mrs. Rogers' pain had subsided and it was recommended she go home with a diagnosis of gastritis. She was found dead the following morning. Releasing his findings today, Coroner Rod Chandler said Mrs. Rogers died from a cardiac tamponade due to a tear in her aorta. He found there were aspects of Mrs. Rogers' clinical picture that were consistent with a diagnosis of aortic dissection, but the radiologist didn't recognise or report its presence in her CT scan. The coroner found Mrs. Rogers required immediate surgery, and although that surgery involved substantial risk, the failure of the LGH medical staff to properly diagnose Mrs. Rogers and recommend the necessary treatment denied her of all opportunity of a full recovery and an extended life. He recommended the hospital undertake a review of the competencies of radiological staff and, if deemed necessary, put in place processes for their updated training. The Launceston General Hospital said in a statement to Win News it has since instituted changes within the hospital processes, including annual independent audits of X-rays and scans done by all radiologists working within the hospital.